Welcome back, Bear fans, to the Windy City Bears Network. Well, I'm your host, RC. Today, I'm doing the year review of DJ Moore. And DJ had a tough season last year, stat-wise. You know, he didn't put up 1,000. He's had 4,000-yard seasons in his career going into this season. And he just came off his best season of his career with over 1,300 yards. Some people will say, well, you know, so we switched quarterbacks. We went to Caleb, a rookie, and that's why DJ didn't have that same type of success. To me, that couldn't be farther from the truth. The biggest issue and my belief of why he struggled so much was play calling. And I'm not saying Luke Getsy was the greatest play caller, but Luke at least utilized DJ's skill set the way he should have. When you look at Shane Waldron and all the bubble screens he did and all the 5-yard outs he ran, he never utilized his skill set and pushed the ball down the field. And there could be many reasons why he didn't. Offensive line giving up a lot of sacks. But at the end of the day, you have to push the ball down to DJ. If you just look at his stats from last season, he had 96 catches for 966 yards, 9.9 yards a catch, 6 touchdowns, 136 targets though. And the year before, he had 140 targets, 98 catches, 1,364 yards, 14.2 yards a catch, and 8 touchdowns. So if you want to look, targets were about the same and catches were about the same. What's the difference? They didn't utilize them. They didn't push the ball down the field. Those other two statistics are pretty much the same, targets and catches. So there wasn't this big drop off because of Caleb Williams, you know, and it was a tough year. You saw the body language of DJ. You saw him walking off the field on a play where Caleb's rolling, scrambling. And I think that frustrated DJ in a lot of ways. But you have to help your quarterback out. And you're a leader. You're supposed to be a leader anyways. You know, we rewarded you with a contract worth about $26 million a year. Now, moving into this season, you have one of the best play callers in the league, if not the best play caller in the league. I think he's been the best play caller in the league the last 3 seasons. A man who knows how to get people open, Ben Johnson. A man who knows how to get people the ball in space, something we've never, ever had in Chicago. We've never had a play caller who knew how to utilize people's skill sets and run great plays. Maybe Mark Tresman was the best we've had. I mean, and he was a horrible coach. Our offense was ranked, I think, in top 2 one season. We went 8-8 that year, missed the playoffs because our defense was ranked 30th. But Ben Johnson is going to be able to really get the ball to DJ, get the ball to him in space. And with all the weapons we have, I think Rome Odunze is going to have a great season, picking up Colston Loveland, Cole Kmet. You know, Ben Johnson harps about the details, about the spacing, about where to line up. It's important to line up in the right spot. He's already been on the team. He was yelling at Cole Kmet. There's a big difference in his mind of, you know, lining up 2 yards out or 2 yards in, because it's where you're going to end up on the field and how you're going to help your young quarterback. I expect a big season from DJ this year. I expect him to have at least 1,100 yards. Now, you say a big season, only 1,100? Yeah, because I expect Rome Odunze to have a monster season this year. I think we're going to have 2,000-yard receivers. I think Rome goes over 1,000. I think DJ goes over 1,000. I think Rome's going to get more red zone touchdowns. I'm going to do a preview on Rome coming up. But Rome has a different skill set than DJ. But DJ's still going to be the guy, I think, who gets the most targets. You know, he should still get 120 targets easy, you know, if not 130. But Rome's targets are going to go up too. He should at least get 90, if not 100 targets himself. So, you know, DJ needs to really buy in to what Ben Johnson's asking him to do as far as blocking downfield, pay attention to details. He's a good receiver, a very good receiver, a top 15 receiver in the league. Easy. I think he's just as good as St. Brown. I think he can put up same type of statistics. Like I said, he's already put up over 1,300 yards before. That was just a year ago. He's in his prime. This is the first time he's ever going to have a play caller like this. I think our offensive line is going to allow Caleb to throw the ball and push the ball a little bit more down the field. And even when he doesn't have to push it and it's an 8-yard, 9-yard pass, I believe he's going to be able to get the guys the ball in space, and they're going to be able to pick up some yards after catch. Ben Johnson is going to make this offense look completely different than what it was last year. Offensive line is going to help. And also Caleb going into his second season. I think he's going to make a big jump. He should anyways. I mean, everything's lined up for him to do that. He has a good work ethic, but DJ has to buy into what we're doing, and he can't get frustrated. If the ball's not going to go to him certain games and it's going to go to Rome more, it's going to go to, Coast and Loveland more. We have so many weapons now that, sometimes it's not always going to be your game, your day, They might double down on DJ, drop a safety over, and you got man coverage somewhere else, and Caleb's going to have to go to that person. But I do believe DJ is going to have a monster year. Like I said, stat-wise, is he going to have a better season than the year before? Probably not. But we don't need him to. And that's a good thing, that we don't need him to have 1,500 yards for our offense to be successful. I still expect him to get around 95 to 100 catches. Hopefully his catches percentage of targets and catches go up. But it was, like I said, it was about the same the last 2 years. The biggest difference was play calling. And I think we got that fixed. If anything, Ben Johnson is going to be a great play caller like he always has. I also think he's going to be a fantastic coach. So, my review on DJ, last year, he struggled. I probably give him about a C because he didn't give effort all the time. He didn't block down the field. He's walked off the field. He's done some things that really you don't expect from a number one receiver. You expect that from like a diva. I don't think he's a diva. I do think he was frustrated last year, but, like he said, he can't let it show. Hopefully, with some more wins this year, he won't be as frustrated. It gets very frustrating when you lose 10 games in a row. I understand that. But DJ should have a bounce back year, and we're looking forward to more wins this year, at least 8 to 9. I mean, if things go great, hopefully 10. If you disagree with what I think about DJ, if you don't think he's a top 15 receiver, let me know. Let me know what you think that he should do this season. If you like this content, hit a like, subscribe. I got more videos coming out soon. And to them Bear fans, bear down.